family and friends, please rise. Edward Gerald Mayo.
We do.
Of course you do. Family friends, please be seated. Well, greetings, family and friends. It is such a joy to welcome you here at the beautiful Aldi Mansion, to witness the marriage of Megan and Edward and to celebrate their love and devotion to one another. Megan and Edward, you've chosen this day to stand before your family and friends to take each other as husband and wife. Your growing love and devotion for one another throughout your relationship has brought you both here. And from this day forward, your hearts and lives will become one in the bond of matrimony. As Megan and Edward come before us to be married, they wish to thank all of you for the contributions you have made to their lives, as well as acknowledge and thank their parents, their family, and their friends for their endless love and support, and for all that they have done in bringing them here to this very special moment. And as we celebrate this wedding today, Megan and Edward would like to honor the memory of all those family members who could not be with them here today. Especially remembered are Dorothy and Charles Brown, Vivian and Edward Mayo, Mary and Jared Craig. Megan and Edward. Today is one of the happiest days of your lives. You're happy, right? A marriage is a promise to be kind and understanding, to be thoughtful, considerate, and to share one life together. Happiness in marriage is not something that just happens. A good marriage must be created. And in the art of marriage, it really is the little things or the big things. It's never being too old to hold hands. It's remembering to say I love you at least 10,000 times a day. Got that? Yeah. And it's never going to sleep angry. It's at no time taking the other for granted, for the courtship shouldn't end with the honeymoon. It should continue throughout all of your years together. It's speaking words of appreciation and demonstrating gratitude in thoughtful ways, and it's never looking for perfection in each other. It's cultivating flexibility, patience, understanding, and most of all, a sense of humor. It's having the capacity to forgive and forget and respect one another. It's giving each other an atmosphere in which each can grow. It's a common search for the good and the beautiful, and it's establishing a relationship in which the independence is equal, the dependence is mutual, and the obligation is reciprocal. It's not only marrying the right partner, but it's being the right partner, which both of you know that you are. So our first reading will be read by Nathan. Nathan's working the technology.
If I speak in the tongues of men and of angels, but have not love, I am a noisy gong or a clanging cymbal. And if I have prophetic powers and understand all mysteries and all knowledge, and if I have all faith, so as to remove mountains, but have not love, I am nothing. If I give away all I have, and if I deliver up my body to be burned, but have not love, I gain nothing. Love is patient. Love is kind. Love does not envy or boast. It is not arrogant or rude. It does not insist on its own way. It is not irritable or resentful. It does not rejoice at wrongdoing, but rejoices with truth. Love bears all things, believes all things, hopes all things, endures all things. Love never ends. As for prophecies, they will pass away. As for tongues, they will cease. As for knowledge, it will pass away. For we know in part, and we prophesy in part. But when the perfect comes, the partial will pass away. When I was a child, I spoke like a child. I thought like a child. I reasoned like a child. When I became a man, I gave up childish ways. For now we see in a mirror dimly, but then face to face. Now I know in part, then I shall know fully, even as I have been fully known. So now faith, hope, and love abide, these three, but the greatest of all these is love. May God the Father and His Son, who demonstrated this great love to us, be glorified by the reading of His word. Amen.
Thank you, Lord. Megan and Edward, a marriage ceremony represents one of life's greatest commitments, but it is also a declaration of love. As the two of you come into this marriage, uniting you as husband and wife, and as you this day affirm your faith and love for one another, I would ask that you always remember to cherish each other as special and unique individuals, and that you respect the thoughts, ideas, and suggestions of one another. Remember to forgive and do not hold grudges, and live each day that you may share together, as from this day forward you shall be each other's home, comfort, and refuge, your marriage strengthened by your love and respect for one another. Megan and Edward, you are about to make promises to one another, and these vows are words representing your intentions. You'll find that as you live by these vows over the years, investing your time, your love, and your commitment to one another, the happy times of your lives are going to be twice as joyous, because there'll be someone to share those joys with in marriage. Now, please look into each other's eyes as you goodbye to your wedding band. Ready, pal?
In the 1500s, the Church of England created a manual for wedding vows, but didn't translate it into English for another 100 years. The Catholics added the line about sickness and health, and the Quakers mentioned fear of the Lord in their vows. I never really understood weddings before you, Meg. You're the lens through which I see life as a focused picture instead of just a confusing blur. You are the legend on my map, and without you I would be desperately lost. You love me in a way I never knew existed, and I love you more than I ever thought possible. To understand the meaning of anything requires context. Without you, all I would see is confusing ceremony and strange tradition. In the context of you, I see an orchestra expressing the depths and complexity of our love in a stunning symphony. I picture of our future together painted by a master, every inch of the canvas communicating something new and beautiful. Megan, this is my promise to you. I, Edward, take you, Megan, to be my wife, to have and hold whatever unfolds for the rest of my life. Through triumphs and trials, through tears and smiles, I will always hold you close. As is God's holy will, whether healthy or ill, I will love you till the day I die.
And Megan and Ted, just Ted, in case that wasn't convincing enough, Ted, I need to ask you, by the way, that was great. Ted, do you vow to take Megan, choosing her alone to be your wedded wife? Do you vow to live with her in a state of true matrimony? Do you vow that you shall love her and comfort her through good times and bad, in sickness and in health, honoring her at all times and being faithful to her? I do. Tough act to follow, Megan.
On our second date, you took me to a well-planned date in New York City. You rode the subway and took the ferry to Governor's Island for a picnic. You packed it yourself. We saw a Broadway show and had dinner. When it was time to go home, you couldn't remember which garage you parked your car in because we used Madison Square Garden as a landmark. I'm not sure if you actually forgot where the car was parked or if you just didn't want that day to end. Months later, I realized how much effort you put in to make that day perfect. Our perfect second date was my I don't like to plan ahead boyfriend taking hours worth of plans. My no sense of direction boyfriend making a practice run in New York City the weekend earlier. And you told me, after a little too much to drink one night, that if I hadn't been so special, you would have just taken me on a date to get bagels. 3 years later, I'm so glad you didn't take me to bagel date. You were my calm in any storm. With you, I can be myself. You accept me for who I am. You not only tolerate, but appreciate my sense of humor. And I love the faces you make when you play guitar. I promise, from this day forward, as your wife, that we will have a lifetime full of love, happiness, adventure, and root beer floats. And I will stop whenever you want to look at the cool car parked down the street. And I will try to remember where we parked that car. Love you.
And Megan, I would ask you, do you vow to take Ted, choosing him alone to be your wedded husband? Do you vow to live with him in the state of true matrimony? Do you vow that you shall love him and comfort him through good times and bad, in sickness and in health, honoring him at all times and being faithful to him?
I do.
That is the right answer, Megan. So we have reading number 2 by Sarah. Number 5, 6, 7, 8.
Love is a temporary madness. It erupts like volcanoes and then subsides. And when it subsides, you have to make a decision. You have to work out whether your roots have so entwined together that it is inconceivable that you should ever part. Because this is what love is. Love is not breathlessness. It is not excitement. It is not the promulgation of eternal passion. That is just being in love, which any fool can do. Love itself is what is left over when being in love has burned away. And this is both an art and a fortunate accident. Those that truly love have roots that grow towards each other from underground, and when all the pretty blossoms have fallen from their branches, they find that they are the one tree and not two.
Thank you, Sarah. Now, the circle, as we know, has long been a symbol of marriage, and these circles are made of precious metal to represent the precious nature of your relationship. Being unbroken circles, they also represent unending love. As often as you look upon these rings, may you be reminded of this magical moment and the love you have promised to one another. And what you give as a symbol of this pledge, may I have the rings, please. Nice job, Logan. Edward, as you place this ring on Megan's finger, please repeat after me.
Megan, this ring is my gift to you. May it always remind you that from this day forward, you will be surrounded by my love.
Megan, as you place this ring on Edward's finger, please repeat after me.
Edward, this ring is my gift to you. May it always remind you that from this day forward, you will be surrounded by my love.
Megan and Edward, I want to wish you both much joy and happiness on your wonderful new journey together. Just remember to keep as much laughter in your lives as long as you do. Love will never be far behind. Megan and Edward, you have committed yourselves to each other in marriage and demonstrated this by exchanging your vows, joining your two beautiful families together and giving each other rings. It is with great joy and happiness that I now pronounce you husband and wife. Edward, you may kiss your beautiful bride. Family and friends, it is my great pleasure and, of course, my honor to introduce to you for the first time in their relationship as husband and wife, Mr. and Mrs.